It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If I could have everyone's attention, please, and please, we could get the conversation down to a hum, as we have Jeff Burton in here today, driver of the number 31 AT&T Mobility Chevrolet. He is third in points, and I always enjoy visiting with Jeff. Certainly, Jeff, as the chase is starting to really get down to the nitty-gritty, what are your thoughts about racing here in Atlanta, and how you think things will shape up?
Well, this is an extremely challenging racetrack. It's completely two different personalities, one in qualifying and one in racing. Qualifying here is just really fast, kind of just throw everything at it and mash the gas and go. Racing, this track gets very, very slick. Really low grip, hard to get grip on both ends of the racetrack. So I just think it has two different personalities. Of course, the grooves, in the race here are everything from the white line to the wall and everything in between. So a really demanding racetrack, a big challenge for the teams. Obviously, Goodyear's brought a different tire than what we had in the spring, so we're gonna have to get adjusted to that. But it's I always think this is one of the most fun races of the year because it just gets so slick and control gets really low, and I think that's fun.
All right, let's look. We'll see where our wireless mics are. Who has wireless mics? We need some folks to help us with these wireless mics. Newt, we're going to need to get a couple people to run them. So if some people there in the back could help us with the wireless mics, please. And we'll take questions for Jeff Burton. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll start with the gentleman in the back, right there where Melanie is walking past. And then we'll go to Rick Minner. We'll start with that gentleman back. I believe his name's Doug.
Yes, Kerry, thank you. Jeff, Doug Turnbull, WSP Radio. I'm trying to get several drivers' opinions on this, and it may be a pertinent question today. Several races this year have been rained out due to qualifying. Do you think that there should be a change in the qualifying procedure because a lot of them have been rained out, and some of the top 35 teams that may have a chance to make the race go home, and you may have to start, not you, but someone may have to start 27 that could really start fifth? Do you think that if there's a better day the next day, NASCAR should try to run either a small qualifying session or the entire qualifying session the next day or anything else?
I think it's way more important to give practice to get ready for the race. I think that's way more important. I do understand that if you're 44th in points and you go home and didn't get a chance to qualify, how you could not feel very good about that. On the other hand, I do believe that there is and this is kind of a hard-nosed stance on it, but I do believe that protecting the best 43 or 42 teams, there's nothing wrong with that. As all you guys know, I'm in favor of having 43 teams, not 48. And I think that on a rain, if you're gonna put people in a situation where they have limited time to get ready for qualifying, I think it's more fair to take care of the teams that have tried to attempt every race and are higher in points than others. So I'm okay with letting it be done on Friday. If it doesn't get done on Friday, then it's over, because I think that ultimately that takes care of the teams that have done the best job, and I think that's always the best way to err.
Question, David Newton. Did Rick Minner have a question? Did you, Rick? Yes, he did, and I thought you raised your hand. We'll go Newton and then David Poole. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff, this is a little off the wall, but you got the NFL on Sunday, World Series on Sunday. You got this things being run away with Jimmy Johnson right now. Why should people watch?
Well, that is not off the wall. It's actually a very good question. There are a lot of things going on Sunday, and Jimmy has extended the point lead, and there's a lot of people that are looking at this thing saying, hey, this thing is over. I don't believe that it's over, And I think that anybody that's watched racing long enough, they probably know it's not over as well. So, you know, this race is always a really good race. The ending of it's always really exciting. I expect that to be no different this weekend. And, again, I don't think this thing's over. I think it's there's still a lot of racing to go. A lot's going to happen between now and then. And I just would recommend people stay tuned.
We'll go Rick and then David. Go, Rick.
Jeff, could you, since this race next year won't be in the Chase, could you comment on the benefits of having this track in the Chase versus having it on Labor Day weekend at night?
I think it's best for the track to have it on a day that the weather stands a better chance of being good. You know, how many times do we come here this time of year and the weather's iffy? You know, I think for the racetrack, obviously, you know, having a race that's in the Chase seems like on the surface of it to be a really good thing. But I think it's more important to have it on a weekend that the weather stands a chance to be better. I think a night race here would be really cool. So I think there's more advantages in being here on Labor Day than it is being here this time of year, even though they're not in the Chase. That's my opinion. Just seems to me like the weather has such a huge bearing on how many people come, and you know, I think it's going to be advantageous to the racetrack. That's my opinion.
David, then Marty, and then Jerry back there. David, Marty, Jerry. Go.
As we keep questions and questions and questions keep building about what the economy is going to do to the sport and all sports and everything else in the world and all the stuff that's going on, how does NASCAR keep this from becoming sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy where the more stories that are done, the more people talk about, you know, Eddie Gossage next week is going to get questions about the economy. If he says that everything's fine, people are going to say he's trying to sell tickets. If he says everything's horrible, people are going to say, why is he not trying to sell tickets? I mean, it's almost like the economy and the sport seem to be caught in almost like a downward spiral where the pessimism feeds on itself the way the optimism used to feed on itself. Do you think we've reached that point yet?
Well, I think that's actually you know, in a broader context. I mean, if you listen to some financial analysis, that it's the mood of the country has more to do with the economy than the economy has to do with the economy. I'm not sure I buy that. I'm not an economist. I don't know, but it just seems to me that the economy is you can't ignore it. You can't ignore that. You know, people are being laid off. That you know, unemployment rates are rising, inflation's rising, stock market's doing what it's doing. You know, the bailout and all that stuff. I mean, it's such a big story that I think it would be wrong for us to just act like it's not happening. And more importantly, is the people that are buying the tickets. They know what's happening because they're the ones that are getting furloughed and their wages are going down. So I think that not talking about it isn't beneficial. I do believe that our sport, as probably most sports, we have a tendency to beat a story in the ground. But on the same token, I mean, it is there. It's not something that we've created by any means. The only thing that we can do as a sport, in my opinion, is what we have to do is we have to make a compelling reason why people need to come watch the race and why they need to tune in on television. If we do that, then we're going to have better days when the economy's good. We'll have bad days when the economy's bad because our sport is so. I'd venture to say that our sport, if you look at what we race for, what it costs us to spend a year to race versus the purse that we receive, I would be willing to bet that we are pretty low. I mean, the purse is maybe, I don't know, 25%, 35% at the most of what we have to raise to do what we have to do. So we have to have corporate America. If we don't have it, we can't succeed. And so it impacts us because if we don't have, if the corporations can't spend the money and the people can't afford to come watch it, then there's teams that don't have it. So ignoring it doesn't make it go away. But I do believe that we will beat a story in the ground.
We'll go Mark.